What's up guys? Mark Johnson here, back again with another video, and in today's video we're going to talk about the 8 steps to buying a home. Alright guys, before we actually get into the home buying process, let's talk about the big question you need to ask yourselves. And that question is, am I ready to buy a home? Because again, this is the biggest financial decision most people make in their entire lifetime. If not the biggest, one of the biggest certainly. So with that comes these questions. Do you have a steady income? Do you have any cash for down payment or closing costs? Do you have low to medium debt? Have you been working at the same job for 2 years? Or do you at least have 2 months worth of pay stubs so that you can show the bank that you have a steady job and that you're able to make the mortgage payments on time and you're a reliable borrower? So if you can answer those questions and you feel really confident about it, then you can proceed into the home buying process. So let's go ahead and on into that. All right guys, here we are. Step number 1. The first step in the real estate buying process is a real simple one. You want to meet with a real estate professional, someone like me or me personally. And so the reason you want to do that is well, we're the experts. And I want to say this right off the bat. Whenever you're buying a home, you're actually using us for free because we get paid from the selling side of the transaction. A lot of people don't know that, so I'm just going to put that out there right now. All the knowledge that we have, we give to you for free. We get paid after the fact. So the reason you're going to meet with a real estate professional is because you want to be able to have someone walk you through the entire process, kind of the way I'm walking you through it right now. You want to understand what you're getting yourself into, what the timelines look like, everything that you can expect from that moment that you decide that, hey, this is going to be my realtor, to the moment you close on that home and you get those keys in your hand and you walk into your forever home. All right, so here we are to step number 2 now. Once you've met with that real estate professional and you've decided that, hey, this is the person I want to represent me in this transaction, then they're going to suggest you or recommend to you some lenders, mortgage lenders. So these are the people that you're going to talk to about your financial situation, how much money you have, how much debt you have, how your credit score, all things along those lines. And they're going to figure out how much you can honestly get pre-approved for. And the pre-approval is huge because the pre-approval tells me and you and everyone else how much money you can actually spend on a home. Now you don't have to spend the whole amount, obviously. You can spend whatever you're comfortable with, but it's important because you don't want to go shopping at $400,000 houses if you can actually only afford a $300,000 house, because then that just sets everyone up for failure because you've fallen in love with this home over here that you can't actually afford, unfortunately. So it's really good to meet with a lender and get this out of the way and have your pre-approval. That way everyone can have some realistic expectations moving forward when you're actually on your home search. So I'll say this really quickly when it comes to, finding a lender. Obviously, whenever your real estate agent recommends you to a lender, it's because they've worked together before and he's treated their clientele well before. So you know that you're in good hands. And more than that, what happens is you're going to want to ask a lot of questions. You want to make sure that this person has really got your best interest in heart and knows what they're talking about, because again, it's all about money with the lenders. They're going to be the ones that handle the bank and the money and everything for you on that side of things. So if you have any questions whatsoever when it comes to the mortgage, insurance, closing costs, lending fees, anything like that, make sure you ask those questions up front so they know the lender that you're choosing, because you do get to choose the lender. You can choose whoever you'd like, whether it comes from a realtor's recommendation or not. It's entirely up to you. But not everyone knows a lender, so it's generally a good note to take a recommendation because they've done good work for the realtor or whoever in the past. All right, so let's move on to number 3 now. Number 3 is the fun one. This is the part where you get to actually go search for homes and see everything that you've been wanting to see this entire time. All the time you were on Zillow and searching through things and be like, oh, that house is really nice. Ooh, honey, we'd love to live here. Well, this is your time to do that in person or on the internet more again. So when it comes to your home search, honestly, it's a big communication between you and your agent. And this is something your agent should talk to you when they're going through the buying consultation with you in the first place. Trying to figure out what's important to you. What are those must-haves? What are your wants versus needs? So we're talking bedrooms, bathrooms, location. Are schools important? Things like that. Do you have a lot of dogs? Do you want a townhome, a single family home? Things of that nature. you really want to get into everything that you need to know before starting your home search. That sets you up for success, and that sets your agent up for success. Now, I'll say this. It might take you a week to find that home. It might take you a month to find that home. It might take you several months to find that home. But rest assured that you will find a home that you love. It might not be your dream home right now. You might not be able to afford your dream home right now, but you can always take that dream home and have it later on. Because what I'm going to say is you can buy a home that you really like right now. You maybe not love it, but you might not be able to buy that house that you really love right now. So you buy that house that you really like, you wait 3 to 5 years, or whenever the market tells you that that house has increased significantly in value, you sell that house and you put it into the new house that is your dream home forever, and now you have that house. All right, so obviously that dream home of yours isn't just going to fall into your lap. Well, it might, but here are some things that you can use to, find that home. Obviously, me as a real estate agent, I have something that is called the MLS, the multiple listing service. It's where all the homes that are for sale, that are on the market, go, and they're in there, and I have access to them. So I can find you your home, whatever your criteria are, I can put it in there and find it for you. Or you obviously have websites like Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com, Homes.com, things like that you can use. I have my own personal network of agents that I can talk to and see if they know of any listings that match what you're needing as well. Obviously, there are for sale by owners, you have yard signs, there's open houses, things of that nature. Obviously, you have your own friends that might know of a house and something like that. So there are multiple ways to find the home that you're looking for, but it is out there. All right, so here we are. We've found the home that you love. That brings us to step 4, which is making an offer. You've identified the home that you love and that you want to make an offer on. So you have your agent draw up an offer, which is what you feel you want to pay for the home, closing dates, terms, and all those other things. And you submit it to the other agent. At that point, you just are waiting to get an answer back from them. This is a really small step, obviously, just because you've done the other steps now. You've found the home. This is making your own personal offer, and you're submitting it to that agent. Now, the 5th step here, that's where things kind of elaborate a little bit more. You've put in that offer, but now you're in the negotiation and, contract phase. So you're talking with the other agent. Well, your agent is talking with the other agent, figuring out, okay, we like this offer. You might get the first one accepted, you might not. You might be competing in a multiple offer situation where your offer might not be as good as someone else's offer, or it might actually be better than someone's offer. But the other side of the table is going to tell you, hey, come back to us with your highest and best offer, and whoever comes to us with that offer is going to get the property. So there are multiple things that can happen in this term of, negotiation and contract. But this is completely the time where your real estate agent, this is why you want to make sure you hire the right real estate agent, because this person, this is what they do. They negotiate on your behalf to make sure that you get the home that you want on the terms that you want. All right, so we went through step 4, which was we made an offer. We made a competitive offer too. So that got us to step 5. We entered in the contract and negotiation phase. We went back and forth with the other side of the deal, and we've come to number 6. They said yes. So now number 6 is you are in the under contract and escrow phase. So under contract and escrow means that they've accepted your offer from the home. You've agreed that you want to buy the home, and the other side agreed that they like your terms for buying the home. And escrow is an amount of money that you're going to pay, which is generally anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000. That's been determined, that says, hey, we're serious about buying this home, and we're going to show you that we're serious about buying this home. So you wire money from your bank to the closing title company, and you don't lose that money. It doesn't go to the seller. It goes directly towards your payment of the home after the fact. But right then, that money, like I said, you generally have about 3 to 5 days to get that to the closing title company. And like I said, that shows them that you're serious about buying the home. If you don't pay escrow in time, then the seller is allowed to back out of the contract. Now, you've paid escrow. You've got an accepted contract. What comes now? Well, that leads us to step 7. Final details. This is where we're going to get appraisals, inspections, things of that nature going on. And so what I'm saying is when you have let's call it the inspection first. You're obviously going to have the inspection first. The inspector is going to come in and tell you, what's good about the home, what's bad about the home. It's going to give you a full detailed report, including pictures of what they find. And during this, if you find anything that, you really want addressed from repairs or anything of that nature, you are more than welcome to ask the seller to repair that thing. However, in Florida, we use as-is contracts. So you can go ask the seller if they'll repair something. Anything, could be a minor thing, could be a huge thing. They don't have to, as it is an as-is contract. But you also reserve the right during that inspection period. And the inspection period is what is negotiated upon in the contract. Completely between you, your agent, and that contract is what the inspection period is. You have full right to back out if the seller then does not want to fix whatever you've asked them to fix. So now you've got the inspection done. And let's just say, for all intents and purposes, everything went great. There's nothing wrong with the home. You don't need to make any repairs. Awesome. Then you're continuing forward. But you're out of that, an inspection period there. So you can't just back out of the contract without any, repercussions at all. So now you've moved on to the appraisal. The appraisal, now what you're waiting on is for the bank to send their appraisal person to the house and figure out what the house appraises for. And if you don't know what appraises for means, it means to just figure out the value of the home. Because unfortunately, if you've bought a house for $300,000, but the home is actually only worth $275,000, the bank will not give you a loan for $300,000. They're only going to give you a loan for $275,000, and you personally would have to come up with the other $25,000 to pay for the home, or you would then renegotiate a contract with the other half to decide, hey, this is how much the home was actually appraised for, and this is how much we're willing to pay for it. At that point, you're completely back in the negotiation phase. But let's just say again that home is $300,000 and you've appraised for $300,000. Great, awesome. Now we're moving on after that. Generally after this is kind of just a dead period. It's a waiting period, The inspection happened, it went great, we've moved on. The appraisal happened, it went great, we moved on. Now you're just kind of waiting until closing happens. Closing can generally take between 45 to 60 days. That's a good estimate on closing when you're using financing to buy a home. You can obviously have like a 30-day closing if you so chose to, especially with financing. But a good general area is 45 to 60 days for financing. You can sometimes, if you're doing cash to close, you've got cash that you're buying that property with, you can generally close in about 2 weeks, honestly. So it just really depends on what type of financing you're using, how quickly you'll be able to close. But this is the point we're at now. We've had the appraisal, it went great. We did the inspection, it went great. Now we're just waiting on things to close in the meantime. And, like I said, it really is a dead period. You might be texting your agent and be like, hey, what's going on? Or, you might be worried about like, is there anything we need to do? Not really. People will reach out to you whenever, there are things that are happening that go on. And so the closing title company will then reach out to you with title documents, title insurance, things of that nature. So all that being said, that's led us here to step number 8, the big day. It's closing day. This is the day that you and the other side of the transaction meet at the closing title company, and you guys are going to close on the transaction. This is the day you get the keys to your new home and you get to move in and live the rest of your life, from there on out. And so this is a big day, but also, you have to understand that on closing day that you have to sign a lot of documents, and some people will send you documents ahead of time to sign. Some of them won't. Some of them you'll have to sign them all there, obviously. But then you're also going to have to factor in you're paying closing costs that day. You might pay a little amount in closing costs. You might pay a large amount in closing costs. And there are many different things that go into closing costs. I'm sure you can find a list, or I can put a list of things in the description, like a link or something that can show you a breakdown of closing costs. But so generally closing day is just the day you want to get to after this entire process. You show up, everyone's happy, the seller's selling their home, you're getting a home. Everyone wants this to go through on this day. So closing day is a very happy day, but you do have to understand that there are documents that need to be signed. Everyone who is going to be on the mortgage note and the deed to the house, they're going to have to be there. You have to have photo ID there. to prove that you are that person. And again, like we're talking about with step 2 with the lender, and do you have money for down payment, closing costs? Obviously, down payment way that is done happened, obviously, but closing costs, this is the day. Closing day is when you're going to pay those, and so you have to make sure that you have some money saved up to pay things like closing costs. But once closing day is over, you get the keys to that home and you get to live happily ever after. And that is steps 1 through 8 on how to buy a home in Florida in 2021, because that's where we are now. But yeah, so if you do have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is all down there in the description. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it was really informative. If you do want to watch more content of mine, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time that I drop a new video. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.